Alright, not a whole lot going on today. Kind of in our lockdown here in Montana. So, couldn't go out and do much this weekend. And it's kind of cold and windy anyways, but the wife finally got to drive her gremlin around yesterday. She went and got some stuff out of storage with it, and I think she put about 6 miles on it maybe, so that's good. Got some plates for it, just waiting to go get the registration switched over on it so we can legally drive it. These plates that we put on there are actually off our old Camaro. And in Montana you can just switch over your registrations on it, but got those for Valentine's Day for like 5 years ago or something, for when we had the Camaro. So got everything fixed up on the gremlin, turn signals, brake lights, found all the little electrical gremlins. The brake switch was causing my odd brake light problem I had, so when you turned the car off and key off, this tail light was always on no matter what. And the little plastic end on the brake light switch was wore out from the pedal, so I actually glued a piece of 1/8 inch rubber on there, and now everything works like it should. A big thing we're missing on this car is the latch assembly, which I've had a few people send me some things and some pictures of some latch assemblies, but I don't know if this is the wrong year glass. I don't know, but all the ones they're sending me, they have little latches over here, and then the whole mechanism is like the whole width of the back here. But this one here seems to have the latch right here in the center, so I don't know. We got a new square for the back there. We actually got 2 of them. I put one on the AMX, but did a few things. Did a little bit more adjusting on that door. It's about as good as it's gonna get. It's not too bad on the reveal. And it needs a parking switch. You have to run a jumper wire for to start it in park, or if you hook it up to the switch on the bottom half of the steering column, you got to start it in neutral. So kind of got the stereo going in there a little bit. We got to get speakers and everything for the doors, and then my wife's got it loaded up, as you've already seen, with stuff. But it's running really good. Rebuilt the carburetor, put a new battery in it, and yeah, she's running good. So as far as this grill goes, I think I'm going to get a piece of rubber or something and maybe just extend it over, kind of lay it on top of this just to cover all that hideous stuff there, and just make it as good as I can. But yeah, it's working pretty good. So probably going to start here pretty quick on getting the LS going for the gremlin. Like I said, I haven't decided if we're going to do the 4.8 or the 5.3. I really don't know yet, but I've talked to a few different guys that are running LSs and their gremlins, and it sounds like the Turbo 400 is the best way for a transmission. So if I do a Turbo 400, I will just probably buy the Atomic MSD fuel injection kit, or the, I can't think of the FI Tech, I think it is. It's a whole kit with the intake, everything, and they're like $1,500-$1,600. I think they even come with the fuel pumps and everything. So honestly, I kind of figured it out and did some rough estimates in my head. That's about the same amount of money as getting a computer and paying somebody to program it and doing all the wiring and etc. etc. kits I'm talking about, they're all just, they all look pretty much just simple wiring. There's nothing like this going on in them. So besides that, you know, I got about $400 to $500 just in the fuel system on this AMX and everything else. So if those kits are supposedly come with fuel pumps, everything. So you know, it's really about the same amount of money for me to just do that, and the intake one comes with, I think, the throttle body and everything. So I think that'd be the easiest way to get an LS in the Gremlin. I'm not a big super fan of just having the 3-speed turbo 400, but yeah, they're pretty good transmissions. And back in the day, we had a 74 Gremlin with a 304. And I think the 904 Chrysler Torque Command, Torque Flight, whatever you want to call it, for the AMC in it. And that Gremlin had no problem doing 75, 80 mile an hour. Of course, I don't know what the gear ratio was in it, but if that one did it fine, then the Turbo 400 should be fine too. I've got this 4L60E, but then I'd have to get a transmission controller, and I think I'd still be in the same problem of trying to do a full computer wiring and all that stuff. So I think that's going to be the plan on the Gremlin, but in the meantime, so she can enjoy it and drive it, you know, I'm just going to throw a few little odds and ends at the 6-cylinder and keep her on the road for it. It needs a water pump, I think, and I need to look at the rear end. In previous videos we've seen how bad it's flopping around, so it may need oil in it, so I do need to check that. And I do have an oil change, filter and oil and everything for it, so probably get that done and she can drive it around and enjoy it as is for a little bit. And I'm going to start getting measurements going and stuff, and then obviously, since this is a V8 cross member, it's really easy to put the LS in there, but that being a 6-cylinder cross member, it's going to be a little tricky, I think. I don't know what the difference is on them, but I'm sure there's a difference from the 6-cylinder to the V8, so probably have to build totally different mounts and all that stuff for it. And I'm sure everybody's going to say that the springs aren't good enough and all that for the V8, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure that straight 6 is pretty heavy. It may not be quite as heavy as a 5.3 over there, but I bet it's not that much lighter than a 5.3 LS or a 4.8 LS, but I don't know. When I get there, we'll get it figured out. And then, since the rear end's already kind of going bad in the Gremlin, you know, we'll definitely address the rear end and make it more capable of handling a small block. We're not going to do anything cam-wise, I don't think, on these. Just get one in and get it running. So, but it's kind of what I got for you today. Just telling you what's going to be coming here soon for the Gremlin and what we've done to it. And like I said, I did rebuild the carburetor completely. It doesn't leak anymore. It was fairly straightforward, just had some crud in it. And I might stick to a couple quick little videos I did of the carburetor. I didn't do anything detailed in it, but might throw them in there towards the end of this just as a little bonus. So anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully this coronavirus thing will go away quickly and we can all get back to our lives. Alright, well, got orders to get the Gremlin put together because, you know, the weather's getting nice and the wife wants to drive it, you know, probably just around town here, but you know, I've driven it a little bit and it shifts really good and runs pretty good. Finally climbed under there and got the plate moved out of the way so it quits making that horrible grinding noise. But One problem we have with it for some reason now is I went and bought a new battery. And when you hook the battery up with the lights off and everything turned off, the parking lights are on, so I gotta look at that. The next biggest issue is the alternator light is on, but it is charging. So I don't know what's up with that. And that just started happening too. And then this carburetor, it's got to get fixed. It leaks gas everywhere. It's got vacuum plugs all over it. It's got vacuum line with bolts shoved in it and stuff. I mean, it idles fine, but it leaks gas and it's not very responsive. So got the brakes taken care of already in the last few videos that we've done on this car. I got to do a little interior cleaning up on it. And I got to go through, check the signal lights, tail lights, put the seat belts in it. Doesn't have a headliner, but I got to get that line put up in there and probably see about doing something about this. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to do about the rear latch yet, but it can be driven around with the rear latch on. Probably not going to ever get on the highway with it. Then I gotta fix the windshield wipers. The switches in the dash. Excuse me. Switches in the dash, and the motor's right there, but there's no wiring from the switch to the dash to the motor. So this car probably had vacuum ones factory on it, is what I'm gonna guess, since it doesn't have a booster or power steering or anything fancy. I doubt they would have put electronic windshield wipers in it. So that's where I'm at on this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get that carburetor ripped off and look into it. Well, she's pretty grungy, but not too terrible. So I guess I'll get her apart and throw her in some Kim dip and let her soak for a little while. Okay, got them all Kim dipped, dried off completely, and the new carb kit out. So I'm going to attempt to put this back together. Success! Not leaking everywhere.